Hey guys, and welcome back to the only history podcast ever. My name is Tabia.
My name is Eli.
So, today I wanted to talk about the early industrial age, specifically the period 1750 to 1900. I wanted to just give some context on this period and say that throughout the late 18th and 20th centuries, there was a surge of revolutions which had a vast socio-cultural impact on the world. The early industrial age was the perfect breeding ground for change, reform, and revolution. Through new technologies that revolutionized all facets of life, such as the steam engine, spinning jenny, and cotton gin, and due to the ever changing social, political, and economic landscape that came as a result of urbanization and the shift away from traditional ideas and beliefs. As with any period of change, this created new problems and challenges that governments and rulers were not prepared to handle, causing revolution and wars to define the period. So, Eli, do you have any questions you would like to ask me and the audience about this topic?
No, uh, okay. Tobiah, I just wanted to butt in and say, you know, revolutions such as the French and American revolutions were fundamental to the cultural and social changes that occurred during the periods 1750 to the 1900. It's apparent that these revolutions affected, gender roles, class structures, and culture as a whole.
Yeah, it's really interesting that so many facets of life were just changed during this seemingly small time period.
Mhm.
I just wanted to continue sort of your train of thought, Eli, moving to the some evidence. During the late 18th century, the Industrial Revolution brought about remarkable technological advancements, such as the steam engine and spinning jenny. These were absolutely life changing for the people during the era, and it marked a significant shift from agriculture based industry, from an agriculture based economy to an industry based economy. Factories started to develop, leading economic growth and a remaking of labor classes and family dynamics. This completely changed gender roles, class structures, and in general culture as a whole, because the nature of work was fundamentally changed and underwent significant changes, with men working in heavy industry and women and children entering the workforce for the first time in history in textile mills. This shift challenged traditional gender roles and family structures. As women entered the workforce, contributing to a reevaluation of societal expectations, comparing pre industrial and industrial societies, it reveals a profound shift in the division of labor and societal norms. The Industrial Revolution, traditionally seen as an economic revolution, was equally as transformative on the culture and a social level. So, moving forward from sort of this point about the Industrial Revolution, many other revolutions that were just as important occurred during this time period.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Tobias.
Hmm.
You know, um, the French and American Revolution were two very significant events that drastically changed political landscapes and had massive cultural impacts. In the late 18th century, the French Revolution led to the dismantling of the monarchy and the embrace of revolutionary ideas. This influenced citizenship. This caused a huge shift in class structures.
Hmm.
Do you want to comment on any of that shift in class structures?
Yeah, I would like to add that the shift in class structures that was seen during the French and American Revolution can be really compared to the shift that was seen during the Industrial Revolution, and you can really see how these all these different revolutions tie together.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Anything else you'd like to say?
I would add that the dismantling of the noble class and just dismantling of feudalism in general was really sort of showing of the ideas of the period and the ideas of enlightenment that were fundamentally used in both the American Revolution and the French Revolution. I think this really
Yeah.
caused an emergence in a new way of thinking, a new way of governance, just a new way of culture. So yeah, Eli.
Yeah, I would have to agree that it did cause a new way of thinking about government. A more democratic government. Um, home life really changed um, after these revolutions. You know, just in general, the various revolutions that occurred from 1750 to 1900 brought about significant changes in changing conventional practices and giving rises to new concept and societal systems.
Yeah, I would say that the effects on gender roles, classes, and cultural practices were complex and varied. I would say
Mhm.
that this came with good uh, outcomes, such as letting women enter the workforce. Women's suffrage was also a particularly heavy movement that occurred during this time, and just rights for people that had no rights and had no representation beforehand were now being given to these people. And I would
Yeah,
also say that the effects of these revolutions persisted and influenced societies for decades, as we're
yeah.
still in the midst of these cultural and societal changes today.
Mhm.
Would you have anything to
Y-
add on, Eli?
No, but I do just want to ask, how do you think this impacts John Moran's legacy?
You know, I personally think that John Morant is overrated.
Yeah, well, you better watch your mouth because that's my goat.
Yeah, well, I don't know who you're talking about, but no one is better than LeBron, especially not John Morant.
Okay, well, LeBron is a little crybaby. Um,
Yeah, well, LeBron doesn't go shooting up malls.
hey, he beat the case, buddy.
He's never beating the allegations. All his points, the refs were paid off. I refuse to believe John Morant is a good team player.
You think John Morant is a role player of the team? Is that what you believe, Tobias?
No, I believe he's a useless player, and I believe he should be never allowed to practice professional basketball in his career based off the transgressions that he has done.
What such transgressions?
Do you believe that children looking up to a role model which has been actively engaged in violence and gun violence is a good thing for younger generations?
I mean, would you consider um, exercising a Second Amendment right to be quote unquote gun violence? When have we seen John Morant pull out a gun and use it to commit a violent act, Tobias?
No, I agree.
When?
There are cases which in the Second Amendment does cover, but I do not believe that John Morant's use of a gun to threaten others would be constitutional.
No, that's I was saying his showing of his exercising of a Second Amendment right were in no way, shape, or form violent.
But I do
He
believe
was clearly showing patriotism and love for um, his country and our individual rights. Do you not believe in individual rights, Bob?
I do believe in individual rights, and I see your point. But I can also see the point in which flashing your gun at people would be considered a threat, and as you know, death threats, which would be perceived by the people who John Morant was threatening with his firearm, are not constitutional in any way, shape, or
No,
form.
I just don't remember John Morant threatening anybody with his gun. or flashing it directly at anybody. Rather just showcasing it to his Instagram
So
live
so
stream.
so what you're
It
saying?
seems you have
What
faced
you're saying? What you're
some
saying?
misinformation.
You really want to get a chair smacked on you, don't you?
It sounds like you're the one who wants to get a chair smacked on you.
Chairs are about to start flying.
It seems you've been following a stream of misinformation.
It appears to
presented
me
by the liberal media.
It appears to me that your GOAT can never beat LeBron in a 1v1.
John Morant basically dunked on him, so.
Do we have to take this outside, Eli?
Do we survive?
Anyway,
stay civil.
We'll see you next time on the only history podcast ever. My name is Tabia, and this is my co-host,
My name's Eli.
Eli. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Good night.